Hey everyone, it's Mr. Mountain today here at the North Carolina Arboretum. Let's get inside and see what it has to offer. The North Carolina Arboretum cultivates connections between people, plants, and places amid a 434-acre public garden and is located within the Bent Creek Experimental Forest just south of Asheville, North Carolina, and adjacent to the Blue Ridge Parkway right off Highway 191. Surrounded and crisscrossed by forested coves and meandering creeks in the botanically diverse southern Appalachian Mountains, the North Carolina Arboretum is set in one of the most beautiful natural settings in America. Although the idea for the Arboretum stretches back to landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted in 1898, who wished to create an arboretum at the Biltmore Estate, today's Arboretum was established in 1986 as an affiliate of the University of North Carolina system. In 1989, the site was officially designated the North Carolina Arboretum. The Arboretum is always under active development and includes many hiking and bicycle trails, a bonsai collection, a holly garden, and a stream garden. It is open daily except for Christmas Day. There is no per-person admission charge, but parking fees do apply. You may also get an annual membership for ease of access year-round. Daily admission per car was roughly $16. Check ncarboretum.org for current details. So one of the things you might be wondering is, who's the Arboretum good for to come here and visit? Really anyone. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, this is definitely a place to check out. If you come with the family, this is an outdoor activity for biking, hiking, sightseeing. Depending on the level of interaction that your kids enjoy, it may or may not hold their attention for the entire day. So you can plan around that. If you're looking for a more leisurely day of relaxing, checking out some of the outdoor plants, flowers, views, going on a hike, then definitely you can come here for multiple hours, maybe even a whole day. At the front of the main parking lot is the Baker Exhibit Center. You can go in here and find the gift shop. This is also where you can get your annual passes. And there are other exhibits on the top floor leading outside to some of the trails behind the building. If it's your first time here, make sure to pick up one of these maps at the entrance to the Baker Exhibit Center. At the top of the Baker Center, there is a gift shop here. Make sure to check out the end of season items on the way in. So you can pick up a little something to remember your trip here. A magnet, postcard, and this is what I really like, is when you can find local fare. Things that are made locally, sourced locally here in North Carolina. Including jewelry, artwork, soaps. You can always make sure by flipping it over and seeing where it's made or reading the description. There are some beautiful pieces of pottery here. T-shirts. Something for the kids over there. We got books. An array of items. Once again, from the upstairs at the Baker Center exhibit hall, you can step outdoors. This is part of the outdoor garden area. I'm sure at night this is really cool, lit up with those lights above. The idea here is to be outdoors, relax, check out all the different plants and flowers that they have to offer, as well as art and exhibits. So when you step up to something like this here, looks like metal artwork that's oxidized, a little bit of rusting there. And then you've got the information about how it was created, who did it, made out of steel. Price for purchase, $18,000. Oh, I'm sure a lot of work went into that. The other thing you'll want to check out are these exhibit guides that exist. And depending on what time of the year, it's going to tell you what's happening during each time of the year and where those exhibits are located. Taking a look at the map here, this is where we came in. This is the parking lot, and that's the Baker Center, followed by the gardens. But you can see how extensive the trail system is for both hiking, riding your bicycle, anything you want to do, or just a leisurely walk around kind of the main area, which is where I'll be today. But if you had your bike or wanted to go on a more extensive hike, you could certainly go out here. In fact, by the entrance, you could see people on both bikes and walking these trails out here. What else I also like about this map is it talks about the different hikes and the terrain on them. So how many miles they are, and you can get kind of a side view of how extreme, like right here, hard times on the 4-mile hike, as well as what there is to do in the different times of the year. Now, right now it's in May, we're in full bloom in the spring. You can come here in the winter as well. One of the things that's nice about the winter is you can actually see mountain views. We are nestled right in the middle of the mountains around here. If we look out here into the distance, you can see the mountains right there, but you can see them even better when it's the winter time. So every season has something to offer here. Looking down over this bridge that I'm walking on, you can see out in the distance some of the unpaved trails as well as the paved areas. So a lot of times you get asked, are these places wheelchair friendly? Definitely the main area around here is. And then there's something for everyone. So whether you're off-road or on-road. Here we go. We've got a sourwood, and you can get all the information about the tree or the flower that we're looking at. This is just a little baby right here. Sitting area with a chimney. Wonder if they actually burn anything in there, maybe in the winter, but yeah, it looks like a gas fireplace. I can see the box in there. Stone chimney. One of the nice things here at the Arboretum as well is you can be as active or inactive and leisurely as you want. There are benches all over the place. As you can see in there, there's a sitting area. You just pan around, it's non-stop. Trees, flowers, shrubs. And some of these little gazebo areas with the ivy growing on them offer a nice area for the shade when it comes to the summer. Also up ahead here is one of the star gems of the Arboretum, which is the Quilt Garden, filled with flowers and this beautiful pattern. You can even walk through here. It's probably one of the best places to take a picture. I'm gonna head up top there because if you look out in the distance, you'll get a little bit of a mountain view. And the flowers will change colors throughout the year depending on what they have here. Yes, please stay on the path and observe and preserve all of the beauty. Take a little hike up here. Yeah, this might be the spot in the entire Arboretum to take a picture. You can see that fountain out in the distance and then get a bird's eye view of the Quilt Garden. Well, we got a treat today. On Saturday and Sundays, they have the Rocky Cove Railway down here exhibit. We'll get down there and get a little closer, which is a G-scale railroad setup out here at the Arboretum. Let's get down there and see what it is a little bit closer. Looks like we got the railroad engineer up here making sure things are in good shape. This is really cool. The only thing I've seen like this outdoors is at Epcot and World Showcase. They had something similar. Oh, look, it's Thomas the Tank in the front there. And from what I've seen, you'll need to check the current schedule always, but this runs on Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 4, I believe. And I can understand why this gentleman is tending to it, making sure that it's in good operation. Look at some of that detail, the bridges, the sounds, the different tracks. Looks like we got a train carrying lumber over here. The Rocky Cove Railroad. Right behind the railroad is the Amphitheater. I'm not exactly sure what events they hold here, but it's a great place to sit and unwind. Right off the Amphitheater here is a start of a short trail. Might go on a little hike. This is one of the nice things about being here. Getting some of that fresh mountain air and seeing nature. Just saying hello to someone on the trail who acknowledged that it's nice to be here out in nature. Certainly is a nice balance from the rat race that can be all the things that we always have to do. It's nice to unwind. And you can see here that it went from paved to unpaved, which is no problem at all. And again, if you check that trail guide, it'll talk to you about the different elevations and difficulty. This one here is actually not even an official trail named, but just loops around the exhibits of the main area. There's a roped off area here that's noted for registered participants Monday through Friday. There's also an education center here at the top. So if you're local to the area, it's probably not uncommon for kids' school to come here for a field trip and see the Arboretum. One other nice thing is the Arboretum is pet friendly. There are actually even little bags to clean up after your pets. So bring the dog and go for a walk. One of the things I had mentioned was in the wintertime that when you don't have the foliage on the trees, you're going to see distant mountain views. We are smack dab in the middle of Pisgah National Forest at the entrance to the Blue Ridge Parkway. So there's some incredible views here. I personally like this time of the year just because of what's in bloom. You can always hop on the Blue Ridge Parkway and see those magnificent views if needed. So Bent Creek Road and the trails down this way. One of the things you always hear me on every hike that I do here in Western North Carolina or anywhere is how much I like crisp, fresh air of being in the mountains. Yes, it is so nice. That's pretty cool. Built out of the sticks from a tree over there. So bring your hiking shoes. Now, some people do get into off-road mountain biking and such. One of the great things for the kids and for the whole family, if you want to make it a family affair, is to bring out the bikes. If you have them, bring out the bicycles and go on a longer trail ride or a hike. It's a great way to get away from the electronics for a few hours and get the family together. And even if you don't have kids, this is a place to check out, spend the day, get some energy out, and get a little exercise. Yeah, I can see behind the path over here kind of a wall of mountains. So if you come here in the winter, and you know, here in Western North Carolina, it just depends on what time of the year. We have a very mild winter. You know, it could be January and the high could be 55 during the day. And when that's the case, you're not talking about wearing a super heavy coat. You can come out here and enjoy a beautiful sunny day on a hike, which is exactly what I'm doing in May, springtime. As you can tell, these are certainly man-made trails. So if you compare and contrast this to some of the other places I've been, whether it's Chimney Rock or some of the mountain hikes, this is quite comfortable to walk. You know, it's not like you're actually down there, which is a little bit more like what Chimney Rock is. They keep the trails up nicely, but it's much more rugged than what I'm seeing here. And even when we get up to some of the narrower hike trails is still got like mulch on it, which is nice. And then it shows you right here. So we got the education center, running Cedar Road, garden trail, gives you directions. So keep your map handy when you come out here. We'll just do a quick peek here of the trail and head back up toward the main area. Save a 5-mile hike for another day. Tells me right there, natural garden trail. So right here, there's been a nice path of mulch put down. So I'm going up the hill a little bit, but it's not bad at all. This is beautiful. And if you want to know what type of tree you're looking at, check out one of these signs. Favorite names of a tree, sassafras. And I can see right here, this leads off to the backside of an area called the Natural Garden area. So there's lots of multiple ways to get around here, especially if you're trying to distance out from some other groups, maybe having a nice walk and you want to get out on your own. You can find different ways through the park here. This leads back to a walkway that goes back up by the Quilt Garden. Let's see if we can get a shot of that over here. Check this out. This is neat. You can walk right through here. They've made this path through this kind of wildflower area, and you can walk right through here. More benches to sit down, take a break. So let's head on back up and see what else is offered in the main area. Coming up the stairs right behind the fountain and the Quilt Garden. From the Quilt Garden, walking through the butterfly walkthrough, we get into the stream gardens. And here's an interesting sign about the watershed and the area that this is within, the Bent Creek watershed. There's a lot of information here, so if you are interested in becoming a little more informed about the area and what's native to this area and how the lands are, there's a lot of signage and information. Look down here, this is really neat. You can see the stream flowing. Take a listen. Again, plenty of places to sit. I mentioned that a bunch because I think some folks might get intimidated by having to just walk around all day. Especially if you're an annual pass holder. Pack a little lunch, come here, sit in the shade, relax a little bit. Okay, let's check out the Bonsai Exhibition Garden. Now, one of the things also to note, this happened to us once before, open 9 to 5 daily. The park hours are wider and longer than some of the exhibits are open. So I have not been in here before. This is really cool. Wow. Look at that. That's a red maple about 2.5 feet tall. Maybe I'm a little cliche or a kid of the 80s, but every time I think of bonsai trees, I think of the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi. I know that's a little bit of a limited cultural exposure there, but nonetheless, that was probably my first exposure to such. This is beautiful. There's multiple tiers of walkway here. Right now, it's like I'm getting the VIP experience because there isn't anybody else in here right now. Looks to me like there would normally be water running through here. But anyway, even if it's just a sculpted rock path, and then more bonsai trees. Incredible. Dwarf white pine. Miniature versions of things we see. Oh, so cool. Mount Mitchell. Well, I do have a couple of videos from Mount Mitchell, and those of you know that one of my favorite smells are the pine that exists up at the top of Mount Mitchell. So that is super neat. And this too does appear to be wheelchair friendly with just a slight grade getting up here to the end. One quick note at the top of the bonsai exhibit, they do have public restrooms if needed. So most of the trees have signage about what they are, but I'm going to take a gander at what this is. I believe this is a Japanese maple, one of the larger ones that I've seen. Beautiful. And hiding behind this is the Bent Creek Bistro and Education Center, which is open Tuesday to Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can grab a bite to eat here at the Arboretum if you didn't bring something or wanted your own snack. But the Education Center is currently closed. If you ask me what my favorite thing to do here is at the Arboretum, other than the fresh air, it's definitely the hiking. All right, everyone, I had a great time here today exploring at the North Carolina Arboretum. I hope you get a chance to come here to Western North Carolina and check it out for yourself. And until next time, from the beautiful mountains here in North Carolina, this is Mr. Mountain Man saying see you later.